Hey there, YouTube. WhiskeyCactus here, welcoming you back to our Let's Play of The Letter. This is episode number 23. In the last episode, we continued on with Becca's chapter, and we found out that Isabella's missing. Well, we thought she was. And then we called Ashton, and Ashton called Zach, and Zach told Ashton that Isabella stayed with him the previous night. So that goes back to when we were playing Zachary's arc, and Isabella showed up and hung out and was clearly shook after her encounter with the ghost at the office. So all that happened, and now we're seeing Becca's side of it. So we are at the point now where we're talking with Ashton about the event, and I have a choice on my screen. So I did this earlier, but I'm just going to go ahead and save again. So we want to make sure that we have the correct amount of relationship with Ashton, so we have a little less than that. So what are we going to do? How are we going to do that? What should I say? I can handle it? Let's give it a try. No, that was the wrong answer. The problem is I don't remember what the lead up to this was. This was a bad spot for me to end the episode. Alright, so we're going to say sorry for the trouble. There we go. That's a better answer. Okay, I recognize his concern for what it is. It's not new for him to go out of his way for us, and to be honest, this is what I love about... There she goes. That's what I love about him. As much as I would have loved to take this off his hands, it'll only be selfish of me to insist, considering he knows of my other commitments. To do so feels like I'll be trampling on that kindness he seldom offers to anyone.
Sorry for putting you up to this.
Nah, don't mention it. You've got other things you need to worry about. Take care of those first. This is a small thing.
I still owe you one.
Oh, I can name a few things you can do about that.
Ooh, hello.
You know, there's this ice cream shop that opened
No.
in the movie house.
Nope.
I could use.
Nope, that's not, nope. Something else.
Okay, let's stop right there. That's enough. On second thought, maybe I'll just think about it some other time.
Uh-huh.
Harsh.
We both laugh, the sound lighter and more comfortable. Like the old days, when a wayward 26-year-old is at the bottom of the list we need to worry about. This is how we find a common ground. We may not agree on a lot of things, we may see things the way we may see things the way the other does, but the give and take is something we've learned to get used to over the... We may not see things the way the other does, I assume. But the give and take is something we've learned to get used to over the years. Whenever it's like this, confidence in him is the least I can offer as thanks.
Really? Thanks for this, Ash.
I'll let you know what happened afterwards. I promise. I'll call you later. You have a good day. Bye.
Alright. I admit, the way he puts it isn't comforting enough. He can be blunt like that. So many unknown variables, so many words left unsaid. I wish he'd simply lay them all out in the open. Because like this, I'm more inclined to think there's an exaggeration on the other's part. If it's from Zachary or Ashton, I don't know. In the end, all I can do is wait, go about my day, and hope for the best. Before leaving, I spare Isabella's room one last glance. Disturbingly quiet, now without her in it. I'll get answers from her later. For now, my concerns are best left here. Alright, time for school. Nothing scary can happen at school, right? Everything's gonna be fine. Yeah, fine. Totally. We're totally not gonna die. The rest of the day slips away in a blur. Oh, great. School's over. Fuck. So much for being safe. Despite my best efforts in keeping this morning's events from surfacing in my mind, it sticks. In a way, everything today simply feels like a reminder. Every conversation, regardless of how casual every topic, no matter how mundane it seems. I blame the news entirely for this. Yeah, a lot of people blaming the news lately. Recent happenings brought quite a few interesting stories to everyone's attention, mostly superstitious talk of death. And when locals talk about death here, anyone can sure as hell count on someone bringing up the mansion Isabella sold not a few weeks ago. Not a few weeks ago, wasn't it a couple of days? Well, I guess that would be not a few weeks ago, wouldn't it? Even my own students won't stop yapping about it. I think it's even worse than when it was put back up in the market. Now there are more stories. Great. Great. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear the stories. All the stories of all the death. If this is the world reminding me of what matters, or simply because the atmosphere around this time of year calls for it, I'd rather take the latter. Yeah, well, at least then I can be sure people will forget about it in favor of another set of holidays after. Nevertheless, and this may be a painful thing to admit, but listening to them is a pleasant distraction while waiting for Ashton's call. I hope he didn't forget the school day is about to end soon.
No, that's got nothing with what I heard.
Oh dear. What did you hear? I guess she doesn't get a voice. You always hear stuff. I'm not sure if half of them's even real.
No, really. Rowan knows about it. He used to be in the same class with them.
Oh dear, Rowan. If we remember, Rowan is that little girl Kylie with the blue hair who's creepy as fuck. It's her brother. And we also know from Marianne's arc that Rowan was involved with the mansion at some point, and... Or no, Rowan wasn't. People that Rowan knew were involved. Sorry about that. I don't know where that cut off, but... Alright, anyway. Rowan was connected with the kids that were in the videotape that Marianne saw when she was trapped in the dungeon at the end of her chapter. So, anyway, let us continue.
I can hear you from back here, you know.
Okay, Rowan. Guess you're still alive. That's good.
Whatever, Rowan. Anyway, the story goes like this. There were 3 of them. They entered the mansion on a dare, and they were all never seen again.
That is what was in the videotape that Marianne saw.
No one knows what happened to them. Up to this day. Scary shit, man.
Cock and bull story. Calling it now.
No, you don't get it. Why don't you ask Miss Gales then? Better yet, why don't you go inside the place? I'm betting my allowance you can't do it.
Unless these are the people that go into the... No, because that... Hold on. Is this... What was the day of the party? Oh, Friday. Yeah, so this was the day of the party. It's the 25th. There's no way that they went in there when Hannah was living there. So it had to be before this. I don't know. So maybe, I guess these aren't the kids. It must, it's the, they must have been what they were talking, I don't know. Whatever. Too many unknowns. Their talk immediately halts when I look up, all of them suddenly pretending to be engrossed in their current activity. Still, a word to put a stopper to this nonsense is needed. Creativity and imagination fostered by these stories is one thing, but reckless ideas should be corrected before anything potentially tragic comes from it.
Back to your worksheets, everyone. And I don't want to hear any talk of dares or going inside that mansion. It's private property now. You'd all better stay away from it before...
Well, fuck. At the noise, the whole lot of them goes silent. You can almost hear a pin drop. The look on their faces would have made for a funny picture, but that's irrelevant at the moment. If that is a student loitering around, someone's gonna be in trouble.
I'll be back. If you're done, you can leave your worksheets on my desk.
Oh, great. Yeah, like, they're not just gonna... Come on, the teacher can't leave the classroom with a bunch of kids.
Keep the noise to a minimum while I'm gone, okay?
I can sense their eyes on me as I walk out the door. Muted kind of anticipation. A bit unnerving, but it's far more agreeable than the feeling of being watched I've been enduring these past few days. Great! Feeling of being watched. Love it. It's my favorite. Okay. Class is still in session for most of the rooms. In a few hours, once the final bell rings, however, this place will once again be filled with busy chatter and footfalls and everyday life. But for the moment, I let the silence guide me. This will be fine. This will be totally fine. Nothing bad's gonna happen. My ears focusing on whatever sounds there will be, searching for that distinct clanging of metal. This is totally fine. A good minute passes, and for the portion of it, only my steps echo through the halls. And another. I'm about to turn around when... the sound of it halts my footsteps. It's a little muffled and infrequent, but grows louder after each interval. With the hallway devoid of people, if I don't put a stop to it soon, it'll start to disturb the other classes still going on. Okay. Looking for it doesn't take long. All I do is follow the racket, and shortly I'm standing in front of a nondescript row of unoccupied lockers. Oh, honey, they are not unoccupied. I will promise you that. Oh, fuck this. Nope. So much nope. Oh, this is so much nope. Oh, oops. Hold on. Shit. I don't think I can go back. I missed that, whatever it was. Like someone's pounding on the metal door from the inside, hoping to get out. Leaning forward, I try to get a glimpse through the horizontal slats of whatever's causing it. Oh, bad idea. Never stick your eye near a hole. But in this light, only darkness greets me, and another round of clanging. Louder than previous one. The previous one. More desperate. I've heard stories before from other schools, from a few colleagues who had to deal with it once or twice. Although personally I've never encountered one myself. I can only thank the heavens I haven't yet. But
If this is another kid some other student stuffed in a locker.
with a huff, I straighten up and study it briefly with a frown. Without delay, I reach for its handle and save the game. At once it stops. Immediately replaced by the muffled sound of a mobile phone ringing. I give the door a few raps before taking my attention away. A second. Another. When nothing or no one responds, I finally avert my eyes and pull out my mobile. Ashton's voice greets me from the other end of the line, oddly cheerful in light of this morning's matters. Or maybe because I'm just expecting some grave or serious news from him. Instead, I get this.
Hey, Becca.
Well, you sound happy.
I do? My voice still sounds the same to me.
There are only two things I know of that could be the reason for that tone. Sweets, or he's gotten a good lead in his case. I think it's sweets. Pretty sure it's sweets. Pretty sure they just had a big-ass fucking meal. From the sound of it, I'm going to assume it's the former, since lately, that case is all that's running inside his head. If there's ever a third one, I've never heard of it. Yet. Can only be one of the two.
Ignore that. How's Isabella?
Drove her home a few minutes ago. I think she's sleeping now. Sorry this took a while. Z-Man gave us the puppy eyes after we tried to leave. Had some food prepared for us, apparently. We didn't have the heart to say no.
That's all right. Is she okay now?
I'm not really sure. She didn't say anything to Zach, but she mentioned a plan to take a few days off from work. It was a passing comment before I left her, so I didn't get to ask.
Must be because of Rose's death.
Could be. It doesn't seem like it from Zach's story, though. He said she was shaking when she got there.
Shaking?
Uh-oh. The word triggers a memory. From 3 days ago. On the way home from her little treat after she sold the mansion. I didn't think much of it at the time, but I won't lie, it scared me. Terrified look on her face. That's when she saw the ghost in the window. How she sounded when she suddenly screamed.
Becca? Still there?
Yeah, I just remembered something. Sorry, don't mind me.
And Ashton wasn't there. That was Becca, Zach, and Isabella.
Look, if you can talk to her, get the story out of her. That would be great. She wouldn't talk to Zach or me even when I tried. Maybe she'll speak up if it's you.
I'll give it a go, but I can't promise anything, okay? You know how stubborn she can get.
Yeah, well, maybe if you keep harassing her, then she'll kind of clam up a bit.
But thanks for letting me know about this. If you want, I can get you that ice cream thing you mentioned tonight. As thanks.
Ooh, you know what? You know what? Going for it. Gotta give props. Gotta give props to going for it.
Just as thanks for all the trouble I've caused today.
Believe me, I'd love to take you up on that offer, but I've got something on my schedule this evening. Maybe some other time?
He said sked. Ugh. Alright. What day is it? This day? This is the day. What do we know about Ashton? Zachary received a call. The food. The right couple. Zachary. Marianne. She meets Marianne meets Ashton tomorrow at the bar. And then when do we find out that Ashton's off the case? Thursday? I think it's Thursday that we find out he's off the case. So that's interesting. Huh.
Thanks a lot, Becca.
There's a short pause before he cuts the call from his end. Once again, I'm alone with my thoughts. And the ghost. But rather than answers, all I got from it are questions. More of them one on top of the other, as if the world isn't planning to give me a break anytime soon. But that's a problem I'll tackle later. Right now I've got students who need to be taught follies of eavesdropping, if the slightly open door and their smothered laughter from inside is an indication. Ooh.
All right, enough eavesdropping. All of you, back to your seats.
Is that your boyfriend, Miss Gales?
None of your business.
He totally is. A quick scuffle follows that comment. There's a retort prepared at the tip of my tongue. I drop every pretense of letting it loose on them. There's no use arguing with teenagers sometimes, boisterous as they all are. They're still my kids, though. Rough around the edges, maybe, but still my kids. Oh, fuck this. I thought we were done with this bullshit. Ugh. Shaking my head, I head back to my classroom with a smile, but not before taking a glance at the locker again. Hasn't made a sound since.
Oh, must be the wind.
Uh-huh, totally the wind. It's totally the wind. Absolutely. Could not possibly be anything else. Fuck. So without another look, I leave it alone. Yup. Okay, cool. Great. Fantastic. That's great. That's great. Okay. Worried about her friend's behavior, Rebecca informed Ashton about Isabella's disappearance. It turned out that she spent the night at Zach's, and Ashton offered to pick her up. Rebecca went to school after and had a strange encounter in the hallway with one of the student lockers. Well, alright. I guess we survived that. All in all, the entire school day ends without a hitch, except for the bleeding locker. Could have gone much better, mind you. But with the exams nearing, getting out of work before the sun has set looks as though it's a far-off dream for now. At least until they're over. Then, we have the holidays to look forward to. If we live that long. There really are times when you simply take what you can get for the time being.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. That's exactly right. All I'm hoping for is this will continue until the whole day ends. Still, that promise I made to Ashton, and frankly, the idea alone doesn't sound good. If Isabella didn't talk to them, what makes them think she'll talk to me? It's not like there's a hierarchy, is there? Just because I can handle Isabella's childish tendencies doesn't mean I can do it all the time.
Really, those two give me too much credit.
Nevertheless, I'm keeping my fingers crossed, if only because I'm also worried about her, and both Zachary and Ashton deem it important that somebody get the story out of her. Here's hoping it's got nothing to do with that letter. Again, I think you might be disappointed. I'm pretty sure it has to do with that letter. I understand if she feels a bit stressed lately, but keeping that story going on for more than a week is, it's bound to get tiring at one point. Seriously, I merely don't want this to end in another argument. God willing, the cafe's special will help smoothen things out. After all, it's always been food with her. Or money. But mostly food. Alright, well. This is something new. Get to see a whole new thing with Isabella. Rebecca, too, but who fucking cares about Rebecca? At this hour, the cafe is usually filled to the brim with people. That's the reason Isabella and I rarely ever go here during the evenings. It's simply too much of a hassle when we can prepare food ourselves in the comfort of our homes, and there really isn't much reason to eat out lately. What with life going on, a busy streak. No time for long lines, better spend that doing something productive, yes?
Lucky there isn't one tonight.
Only few people are idling around the counter. 4 of them, in fact, a woman in her 60s, and a teenager busy with his phone. Both are just waiting to be served their orders. Trying to see if there's, like, indications of who some of these people might be. Aha! Ha ha ha! Ha ha ha! Ha ha! Ha! I'm uncomfortable. Because I'm still convinced she's either a demon or her friend Takako is the fucking ghost. And I could be both. Could totally be both. But yeah, 2 episodes ago she said she had a friend, Takako, who says stuff to her. And all I can think of is nobody else can see that friend. And she draws pictures too. We haven't seen her pictures yet, but she draws pictures, and we all know what kids drawing pictures in horror movies look like. The other 2, a posh-looking man and a child, who I immediately recognize as Kylie, appear to have not yet picked anything they want. For some reason, my stare lingers at the guy. Interesting. They're dressed relatively well, and looks harmless. I haven't seen him around these parts before. Someone new in the neighborhood, perhaps? Even so, there's something familiar in him. Feels like I've seen him somewhere before. That also begs the question of why Kylie is with him. Of course, girl easily takes a liking to anyone who buys her sweets, so... Oh, don't say that. So it's both a bit worrisome and unsurprising. The blonde bloke doesn't look particularly thrilled with the company, though. I tear my eyes away from them soon enough once the guy at the counter appears, ready to take my order. That, and I'd also hate to be accused of ogling strangers.
2, evening special, takeout.
He's already punching the order before I even finish. Saying my order out loud is really more for formality's sake and made out of habit. He has known Isabella and I long enough that if we ever drop by here, he already knows it's always because I'm buying dinner for the 2 of us. I rarely visit here alone if I can help it, but Isabella can sometimes be a bad influence. He gives me a small smile before leaving to prepare my order while I fish for my wallet when...
Look, you little ankle biter. If I buy you the biggest parfait they have, will you please behave?
Probably not.
I would just like 10 minutes of peace and quiet.
You said you'll get me some bread pudding this time.
Yeah, well, darling, they said they ran out of it. Just pick another one so we can be on our way.
She doesn't seem to be too happy about that.
That parfait doesn't look as cute as the one my mom bought me.
Parfait is just ice cream, sweetheart. It'll melt no matter how dainty it appears. In the end, it'll all look like an ugly puddle.
What an outlook on life. Jesus.
Now, come on, just pick one. It could even be the most expensive one on that list. I don't give a shit. Care, I don't care. What I would give for someone to buy you off my hands right
Oh my
now.
god. Oh my god. Okay. What? My whole attention instantly snaps back to them and their conversation. Jumping to conclusions isn't something I'm particularly fond of, especially when all I have are baseless assumptions, but you can't really trust a stranger these days. No one around the cafe seems to have noticed his words either. Very suspicious words. Still, I don't move. Yet. But my hand has already shifted from my wallet to the book I'm carrying. Hardbound textbook. Looks harmless, but if a situation calls for it, it might be a good deadly weapon. Might. I haven't gotten the chance to try it anywhere so far. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Today could be the day.
But you promised.
Is that the book? Hold on. Is that the book that she gave to, or that she let Marianne take? Yes, it is. I bet it is. I bet it's Luxborn Architecture from the library scene.
Look, if you don't want a parfait, how about a Bonifay pie? I'm sure it'll taste just as good as any other bread pudding. I'll even buy you the entire tray. How does that sound?
That
Well, sweetheart, adults change their minds sometimes.
You said if I come with you, you'll buy me a bread pudding, and I did. And now
Oh.
you won't keep your promise.
Oh, this doesn't sound good. I mean, we know, we the audience know that that's her godfather, but still. This is actually pretty fucking funny.
I want to go home. I miss my mom.
Oh my god, it just gets worse.
No, darling, if I remember correctly, and I
Oh
have
my
a good
God.
memory, honey. What I said was, if you come quietly with me, I might buy you one.
Oh my god, changed from whatever it said before to suspicious looking man. Oh my god, this is hysterical.
The quiet part didn't happen. Though now that I'm sober, I think this is a bad idea. I should just ship you someplace else for that peace and quiet.
I hope she smacks him with the book. Please smack him with the book. Oh, that's it. No hesitation. In a few paces, he's within my reach, and without warning, I'm slamming the flat area of the book against his skull. Yes! There's a cry of pain, followed by him instantly crouching down, hands nursing the sore spot. Almost comically, if this were a different situation and the safety of a St. Goretti student isn't at stake, I'll probably feel sorry for him. I mean, has anyone seen how thick this book is?
Get behind me, Kylie.
Miss Pink!
Indeed, Miss Pink to the rescue. It's amusing how fast her expression changes from the pouty one earlier to something that of utter delight upon seeing me. But there's no time for any pleasantries. Not even quick ones, because soon the man straightens and I'm readying my favorite newfound weapon for another hit. Except this time, he's ready, and before I can land another one, his hand shoots up to catch my wrist in a firm hold. Oh shit, look at this. And the look on his face.
Bloody hell, woman, what's your problem?
To say he's pissed would be a complete understatement. Had I been the weak-willed sort, I'd probably cower under his sharp gaze. But that simply isn't how I roll. If he thinks he can scare me and do as he pleases here just because I'm a woman or whatever his reasons may be, he's got another thing coming for him. So instead I return it to him with the same intensity, with the same venom.
What's my problem? You're the one who has a problem here. Rotten bowbags like you don't deserve the freedom to run this town. What are you doing to this girl?
And why is that any of your business, pray tell?
Oh, it's my business if I make it to be. Now, release me or I'll call the police.
Oh, you think that scares me, Daisy?
Oh shit.
I have a name, you sleazy douchebag.
Nice, got him. Alright, see, okay. Anytime Becca's doing something that's has nothing to do with Isabella, she's a good character. I like her. As soon as Isabella comes into the picture, she becomes a horrendous person, and I can't stand her. So, alright.
Oh, I'm sure.
His grip on my hand only tightens when I attempt to shake it off. His tone may be dripping with anger and sarcasm, but the gleam in his eyes says it all. He's getting a kick out of this. Riling people up, getting on their nerves, invading their personal space. He knows exactly what and which buttons to push. The nerve of this person. The nerve of this arsehole. If he thinks I'm going to give in to his goading, please. He might as well just kiss his sorry behind. Oh, I want to hit him. Can I hit him? Is hitting him gonna be like a... Alright, hold on. I don't really care about relationship. I just want to hit him. I'm gonna hit him.
Mister, you have until the count of 5 to let me go and step out of my personal space.
Yeah, decrease my relationship with Luke. I don't care. A fair warning. Fairer than any I can offer for people of his kind, and I'm already being considerate. Hell, this arsehole doesn't even deserve a warning. If he doesn't listen, well, he's as much responsible for what will happen next as anyone.
Or else what? Such vulgar words coming out of that pretty mouth. A gorgeous flower like you shouldn't even be saying.
Hit him.
Don't say I didn't warn you, bowbag.
Love that intensity, Daisy. FYI, I like feisty in a woman. It gives them this certain charm. Why don't you?
5.
A second of silence. And without any preamble, my leg moves in one fluid motion and delivers a swift, powerful, well-placed kick to his nether regions. Okay, I'm gonna save here. And then I want to see what happens if we go the other route. Just as a, let's see, shout for help.
Let me go, you uncouth lout!
I'm not sure what that did with my relationship with Luke.
Or else what?
I'll scream!
He laughs, a derisive thing that rankles on my temper more than it has any right to. It is as if he knows I can't do anything or he's above any authority that exists in the city, confident he can get away with anything. The gall of this man. I'd like to punch him right now if I can.
Nice try, lady. Why don't you drop the book first? You could kill people with that, you know.
Fat chance!
Oh no, that attitude won't do, Daisy. Here, let's try that again, like the proper adults we both are. Drop the bloody fucking book.
And then what? If you're assuming I'm...
Then we'll have a nice conversation over a cuppa. Establish why you're attacking a poor, innocent stranger with a deadly weapon. And maybe weave in an apology or two for the offended party afterwards. I'm the offended party here, by the way. My brain hasn't returned to its rightful place yet, in case you're wondering.
Innocent! Don't play dumb! I heard what you were trying to do with that girl. Just because she isn't my student yet, doesn't mean I don't have a role in protecting that child's innocence.
Protecting the what of who? Why would you... Oh, no.
In the span of a second, the expression on his face changes faster than anyone is capable of. From pure confusion to sudden realization before finally deciding on a face of utter mortification. He's quick to drop his hold on my hand afterwards, like he's been holding a piping hot object and has just realized it's in his hands all along. He's far from a decent person, but he actually might make good money doing comedy. The look on his face when he starts babbling his excuses is almost priceless.
No, this kid's... Alright, lady, look, it's all a misunderstanding.
My tone can't go any flatter than the one I have now.
Right. Somebody help me!
He places a hand on my mouth before I spill the rest of it, and all at once I'm caught between trying to stop him from smothering me and keeping his dirty hands off me. But even as my nails dig deeper into his wrists, he doesn't appear to have any intention of letting me go. Being loud works, however. Soon the attention of practically every customer seated in the small establishment is on us. I shoot each of them an imploring look, hoping one of them will have the sense to help. The sleaze, however, is fast enough to flash them all an embarrassed smile.
Haha! This lady's having such a bad day! Poor girl's just been through so much today! Nothing to see here, go on with your dinner.
Bad day. Even if this were a friendly chat, I won't even touch you with a 10-foot pole, much less share any of my problems with you, Blighter. You're my problem. I want to blurt it out, but with a hand covering my mouth and my lungs rapidly losing air, I bite down on his hand. Hard. It works. He yowls, jerks his hand away from my face, stepping back to put as much distance as he can between us while nursing his injured hand against his chest and muttering a string of very creative set of expletives. Tears have formed at the corners of his eyes from the pain, and a small laughter almost leaves me. To be frank, he gives the impression of a kicked puppy with the glare he shoots me. A puppy I'm less inclined to feel sorry about.
You mad woman!
I warned you, you ass!
Why this is harassment, I'm telling you! Harassment!
Then why don't you tell that to the police once they get here, hmm?
You despicable! Whatever you're assuming I am, I'll have you know it's all in your head. None of it's true. You best have that pretty brain of yours checked before that gets worse. What is wrong with you? Is this the face of someone who'd do anything suspicious?
Oh? You don't think a stranger luring an innocent child with promises of sweets before whisking them away from their parents doesn't warrant any suspicion? You have a very funny definition of suspicious, asshole. Maybe you're the one who should have that head of yours checked.
The kid asked me to buy her sweets. You're the one who's suspicious here. I'll have you know, I have a wife.
That much at least appears to have a sliver of truth to it. He even makes a show of brandishing his left hand to my face with much flourish. Sure enough, a wedding ring is there, though while that earned him an unimpressed glare from me. Immediately, a small part of me starts to feel sorry for whatever poor woman married this sod. Don't understand why he has to bring her up either, as if the mention of her alone will magically present a solution to his problem. She must truly be a remarkable woman if she can handle a dirtbag like him. You ain't lying.
And even my wife of all people in this bloody city, has never, I'm telling you, accused me of such a scandalous thing! You crazy woman!
Married or not, you're still a sleaze. Honestly, I feel...
Miss Pink, why are you fighting with my teal?
Well, there you go. Whatever words still left to be said here died on my tongue. Same thing goes for the sleaze. Besides us, stands Kylie, gawking at us with that same curious stare she often brings with her. I know that look all too well, a precocious child through and through. She doesn't say anything further. Her gaze simply moves between us, eyeing us both carefully, clearly anticipating an answer. From my experience, when it gets like this with children her age, it's a sure sign they won't leave you until you've given them an answer they're satisfied with. Lying won't do either. It has dissolved into a shouting match, for heaven's sake. And did she just say Tio? Something falls straight into the pit of my stomach at that. My tone is gentle when I finally address her, void of any apprehension of what might be the first hints of embarrassment. Pointedly ignore the latter. It can very well be just the hunger speaking.
Kylie, sweetie, do you know this oaf?
Yeah, he's Teal Luke.
Right at the moment, my brain stops. Every line of thought, every argument I still have against the man beside me dissipates in a haze. Amidst all of it, one memory gets triggered from a few days ago.
Tio? The one you mentioned before? The uncle? The guy Rowan wanted to impress? Or was that a dare? I'm sorry, I can't recall. Is it the one who promised he'll take Big Brother someplace cool?
Yeah, the one and the same. Don't you know who he is?
Sure as hell don't, darling. Because if I do, I wouldn't have let everything I've said earlier come out of my mouth.
He's my Teal Luke, gazillionaire extraordinaire, and fairy godfather.
He's your godfather. That's...
The one and only. Did I get that right, Teal?
More than right, sweetheart.
Oh, fuck you.
I'm sure Miss Pink here understood everything you said quite perfectly.
Whatever it is that landed at the bottom of my stomach prior has shot straight up to my face and stayed there. The heat from it slowly spreading to my cheeks, coloring my face in almost the same shade as my hair. If only the earth would swallow me whole here and now. His eyes are on me, I can feel them jeering, mocking. I can't even bring myself to look at him. What's in there? Amusement? I doubt it. He's probably having the time of his life right now. But I know I can hear the sneer in his tone alone when he talks. He has that smug grin on him, which I may or may not want to punch off his face at present just for the hell of it. But damage control. Oh god. Now, we're apologizing to Kylie. That's definitely what we're doing. That's fine. Of course, an apology is the most appropriate thing to say. But no matter how much I will myself to do it, my own body refuses to budge, and my own mouth refuses to open, and my head rejects the very idea of looking at him. No apology for an arsehole. Not to someone with an ego too big for his head. Let his pride suffer. I am not going to eat my words for the sake of stroking his damn ego. Less reason for him to gloat. Kylie, however, I owe an explanation.
Don't worry, Kylie. I'm not fighting with your Tio. This is just, a discussion. A very serious discussion between a very mature adult and one that's not.
Really? But I've never seen Teal angry before.
It's because he's losing the argument. But don't ever follow his example, Kylie. You should always learn to be patient, even if things aren't going your way, okay?
Oh sure, a discussion. And it involves hitting random strangers you meet at a cafe with a book. A hard-bound book. Mind you, my hand is still smarting. If I end up with rabies from this, we are going to have more than words, woman!
Yeah, well. I don't allow Kylie to hear his tirade and cover both of her ears with my hands. As fond as she is of the man, there are words he shouldn't be saying in front of a child. How can he not know about that? More importantly, how on earth did someone like him become a godfather? Who allowed it? Maybe I should talk to Miss Suarez about it. Warn her how he is not a good influence for her children. Maybe that's a little out of your,
Language!
jurisdiction.
How can you use such crude words in front of her? Your goddaughter can hear you, for heaven's sake.
Oh, and you didn't. If I remember everything correctly, you called me a rotten beau.
So, you're going to repeat it in front of her, just to make a point? What, are you 5? Even 5-year-olds are more sensible than you.
Even Isabella, I can say that with much certainty.
Even 5-year-olds are more sensible than you.
Oh, wow. Wow, really? That's how you're gonna win an argument, man. That's how you're gonna win an argument.
See what I mean?
Are you fighting again?
Oh, no. Like I said, we were just having a discussion. We're actually done now. But you need to promise Miss Pink you will never grow up like this guy. Good kids don't do what he's doing.
But I like Tio.
Yeah, take that, Becca. Fucking nosy bitch.
And I'm quite sure Tio likes you too. But liking people is different. Just because you like him doesn't mean you have to be like him. There are better role models for you aside from him.
Like you?
Not exactly what I'm trying to get at. But if that's what you want, I don't see why not.
Okay, I want to be like Miss Pink someday. I want to be a teacher,
Well, good for you.
and I promise I won't be like Tio, even if he's a gazillionaire.
Wow, turning my own goddaughter against me. How mature of you, Miss Pink.
His tone makes me pause. The first time since this talk started, I look at him. Briefly, something flashes behind his eyes, something close to what might be an expectation falling, dismay, I can't be sure. Passes almost as soon as it appears. What's that about? Does he actually like having Kylie around? Doesn't seem like it from the get-go, but if that fond smile on him is anything to judge by, then maybe.
Don't worry, Tio. If you buy me bread pudding tonight, I'll like you again.
Ha! Kids.
Oh, if that's all it takes, consider it done, sweetheart. We might have to find another place to buy it from, though. Somewhere safe, where a random crazy woman isn't going to attack us out of the blue. Let's go.
Okay. Bye, Miss Pink. I still like you, just not more than Tio anymore. See you.
Oh, precious children. Kylie's already pulling him to the cafe's exit before I can protest on it. Although it's not like there's anything to object on further. I may view that man, Luke, as someone hateful, maybe to the point of seeing him as an eyesore, but I don't think that'll have any bearing on what the child thinks of him. When you think about it, if she admires him so much like that, then maybe there's still something agreeable in him. Part of him only Kylie sees. He still has the gall to wink at me before they both disappear behind the door, so maybe not. However, there's no moment to ponder about it. Seconds later, the guy at the counter waves me over and hands me a paper bag as soon as I've paid. He offers me another smile before I leave. Normally, I return it simply for the sake of returning it, or I don't at all, with the latter happening more commonly. For the time being, I do so freely. After that encounter and the scene we've caused, seeing a friendly gesture being extended to me, albeit from a person I barely know on a personal level, feels like a reassurance, despite bearing no promise of better days. I take what little I can of it with me as I step out into the night. Okay. Well, guys, let's check this journal. While lining up to buy dinner, Rebecca saw Kylie Suarez with a suspicious man. Assuming it was a kidnapping, Rebecca elected to take the matters into her own hands, only to find out that the man was the girl's godfather, Luke Wright, and embarrassed Rebecca apologized afterwards. I'm going to go ahead and save. Now, real quick, though. I'll save over this choice, that's fine. I'm going to actually go ahead and load up this and just kind of see quickly where this goes. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but this is where she kicks him in the balls. Yeah, I imagine. Tears. Too bad. Wow. Okay. Okay. Oh, wow. Alright.
You mad woman!
My guess is it probably is gonna go the same way.
I warned you, you you ass.
Yeah, it goes the same
Why,
way.
this is harassment, I'm
Yeah,
telling
alright.
you. Harassment!
Okay. So it goes the same way. It's just a matter of the relationship between Becca and Luke. Really, I think is the difference. Alright, so with all of that being said, I'm going to go ahead and call the episode here. So next time, we're going to continue the scene. This is unknown territory. We're taking food back to Isabella. We have no context of what's happening here, although we do know that Becca is still alive by the time she gets to the party in a few days. So, whatever that means to us. I'm sure there will be more spoopy ghost stuff between then and now, but whatever. So let's go ahead and save here, just to make sure. Alright, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, please be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. How are you enjoying the series so far? Who's your favorite character? Do you like Becca? Do you like Luke? Who else do you like? Whatever. And also make sure you're subscribed for more content, more of the letter, as well as other games and videos and series that are on this channel. So thank you guys. Next time we are going to continue this path, and I'm excited to find out what's going to happen. Maybe some more scares. So I hope to see you then. Goodbye.